Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is still very new to me, so please be kind. I want to talk today about life and how we can approach life in a loving way. So, let me start by giving you an example, okay? I have a cup of tea. I can take this moment and this experience as something that is very mundane and happens every day, and it's not, it can be too hot and I will not enjoy this moment because it's too hot and I burned my tongue, right? Or I can choose to relate to this experience in a way that allows me to enjoy this moment and see it as something that supports my intention, which could be to feel a little more present, okay? This cup of tea is not gonna change. It's not gonna be any less hot. With time, it will, but right now, it's not gonna be any less hot. And nothing about it is gonna change, but it's gonna feel different. My experience of this is gonna change. And so as I was creating, I have recently started with ceramics. I realized that I am creating a relationship with the craft. I know it's nothing new. But let me go a little deeper into how I integrated this thought, this cliche that we have been hearing since we were kids, right? Everything works for you, nothing works against you. These things, they're not new, but I think that we have not fully, so many of us, I'm sure I'm not alone, we have not fully integrated them into our experience, into what they actually mean. And I don't think your experience needs to be super special in order to gain this integrated insight, but something about it is just going to be different, right? And so as I was creating, I realized how the way that we relate to life, to every single moment, reflects also the way that we connect to ourselves and to other people, other beings, and everything, really. Because our relationship to life is the most relationship we're ever gonna have, okay? And I think that so many forget about this. It's all about self-love and loving talk and loving others properly, but I don't remember the last time that I heard something about loving life as is in the full spectrum. We always talk only about our experience. And so I'm coming here today with the intention to remind all of us, me included, to actually look at life as an experience that is about self-recognition. That is actually where my experience of this truth started. I realized that through any experience, through any connection, any interaction, we have the opportunity to recognize ourselves. And the self-recognition is a way of offering, is a way of serving the love and the connection between the two people, right? So I get to speak to someone, I get a certain input, and in the way that I relate to that moment and in the way that I recognize myself and my experience of that very moment is what creates the connection, okay? Because that is the only thing that can also allow me to recognize the other person, because I will know what is mine, what are my projections, what is my discomfort, what are my triggers, what is my personal experience of that moment, and where do they start, right? And when I do have this recognition, that's where I can also start slowly. It's one step at a time, but with experience, with time, with repetition. That is also how I can get a little better at connecting to other humans without projecting my own experience into the moment. And I do believe fully that love and connection is our greatest teacher. And so the way that we connect and the fact that we depend on connection, right? And love has always been something that people were in awe of, fascinated with, motivated by. there has to be something bigger about it. And I see love as our greatest teacher. And obviously, life is created through love. And so, this experience, having life, is something that is here to create a relationship with love itself, right? And to create a relationship with love itself means to serve love through this life that we have. The word serve for me is mainly connected to our actions that support that relationship, okay? So even if you take a social relationship, if there's not going to be trust, if there's going to be resentment, if there's going to be any form of dishonesty, it's not going to support the relationship. There's going to be resistance. It's not going to be smooth, and it's not going to be supportive. And so I see life in the same way. So when I choose to trust life and its intentions, and that it supports me, even though I cannot see it in the moment, even though it's difficult for me, I recognize myself and I do not project that itself, And yeah, it can still be challenging, but I know that the challenges are mine. Nothing changes about life. That's the cup of tea. That's the tea. Nothing's gonna change about it. It's still the tea. But my experience of that is gonna be different. And so when I choose to see life with trust, that's when I open myself to blessings, because we also know energy does not disappear, right? Energy is transformed. So that is one thing. And second thing is that the reality becomes real only when it's observed. And I'm paraphrasing here. This is something that we've been hearing repeatedly at school, I'm sure, and then on Instagram and these like social media and these platforms. But when you actually give it more thought, the reality exists only when it's observed. And synchronicities and all of that. When you start thinking about something, the things start to appear to you. And that does not mean that they have not always been there, that other people have not always seen them. But since your attention is there, you are open to observing it, that's when it will appear to your reality. And I do believe that it's the same with blessings and with the way that we see life. When you choose to approach life with trust, that's when you will see the blessings that are coming your way, because you are serving love. And love is an infinite source. There are no limits. And so when I choose to relate to life in a trusting way and in ways that are of service, I'm also serving love. That's what love is. Love is a verb. Love is a service. Love is a decision to actions that are supportive of multiplying this abundance, supporting and sharing and being reminded of it and feeling it in your bones, that it's real, that it's so fucking real. The reason that I'm sharing this is because when I have decided to see people and situations and events as my own mirror, as something that I can recognize myself through, that's when my connection to life and myself and others became much deeper and allowed me to really learn about myself and others without so much resistance. Thank you for watching, and let these words sink in a little deeper, because I don't want them to be just another quote, just another cliche to be heard of. These are the things that need to be integrated into an inner experience so that you can understand them on your own in your own time, but you are the one who gives them the value. So allow them to be experienced.